My brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. Life is a winding road. Oh, we like to think we have it all mapped out, don't we? We write our little plans in ink, scribbling down dreams, drawing up deadlines, marking out a future we believe is ours to control. But then life steps in. Storms rise, doors slam shut, hearts break, and we find ourselves standing at a crossroads with no signpost. But hear me when I say this: God is the best planner. You may not understand today why you lost that job. You may not see the reason that person walked away. You may not know why the opportunity you prayed for slipped through your fingers like sand. But I promise you this: what you call rejection, God calls redirection. What you see as a detour, God sees as the scenic route to something better. Oh, I know waiting isn't easy. I know the silence of unanswered prayers can feel like a burden too heavy to carry. But God is not ignoring you, child. He is preparing you. He is shaping you, refining you, making sure that when your blessing arrives, you will be strong enough to hold it. You see, sometimes we want things before we're ready. Sometimes we chase dreams that would break us if we caught them too soon. But God, in His infinite wisdom, withholds not to hurt us, but to help us. Because when He gives completely. When He opens a door, no man can close it. And when He says it's time, nothing in this world can stand in the way. So don't be discouraged when things don't go your way. Don't let frustration steal your faith. Instead, stand tall, lift your head, walk boldly into the unknown, knowing that the one who holds the stars also holds your future. For He is the best planner, and His plan for you, oh, it's greater than anything you could ever imagine. We are creatures of logic. We crave certainty, order, and clarity. We make plans, set goals, and expect life to unfold in a straight, predictable line. But life? Oh, life is anything but predictable. It twists, it turns, it rises, it falls. Sometimes it lifts us high into the sunshine of success, and other times it drops us into the valley of confusion and pain. And when we find ourselves in that valley, when our carefully laid plans crumble, it's easy to wonder, where is God in all of this? But let me tell you something, child. God is still there. He is still working, still moving, still weaving together a masterpiece beyond anything we can comprehend. You see, our vision is limited. We see only today. We see only what is in front of us, what makes sense to our finite minds. But God sees the whole picture. He sees the past, the present, and the future all at once. He knows what is best for us even when we do not. What may look like a closed door to us is in truth divine protection. What may feel like a delay is in fact God's way of positioning us for something greater. Think about the times you wanted something so badly, a job, a relationship, an opportunity, and it didn't work out. At the moment it felt like rejection, it felt unfair, maybe even cruel, but then months or years later you look back and realize that God was saving you. He was redirecting you toward something far better, something you couldn't see at the time. The problem is, we often confuse our desires with destiny. We mistake our timeline for God's timing. We get frustrated when things don't go our way because we assume we know best. But let me remind you, God's plan is always greater than our understanding. Let's take a look at nature. Have you ever seen a butterfly struggle to break free from its cocoon? To an observer, the struggle looks painful, unnecessary even. You might think, why doesn't someone help it? But if someone were to cut open the cocoon too soon, the butterfly would never develop the strength to fly. The struggle is necessary. The waiting is necessary. And so it is with us. Maybe you're in a season of struggle right now. Maybe life isn't going the way you thought it would. Maybe you're questioning why God is allowing certain things to happen. But hear me when I say this. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean God isn't working. Just because the road looks uncertain doesn't mean you're lost. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. So when life doesn't make sense, trust. When the doors don't open, trust. When the path ahead is dark, trust. Because God's plan is always greater than our understanding. And one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday, you will look back and see that every twist, every turn, every delay, and every detour was leading you exactly where you were meant to be. Life has a way of testing us. Some days the road is smooth, the sky is clear, and we walk with confidence, knowing exactly where we're headed. But then there are days when the road becomes rough, so rough that every step feels like a struggle. The sky darkens, the winds howl, and suddenly we find ourselves questioning everything. We ask, why is this happening to me? Why is my journey filled with so many obstacles? Why do I keep facing setback after setback? It's easy to wonder if we're even on the right path at all. But hear me when I say this. Just because the road is rough doesn't mean it's the wrong road. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's leading nowhere. In fact, the very obstacles that seem to slow you down are the ones shaping you, strengthening you, preparing you for the destination ahead. Look at nature. A tree that never faces strong winds will grow weak. Its roots won't sink deep, and when the storm comes, it will fall. But a tree that has endured the storms, that has felt the force of the wind and still stood tall, that tree is unshakable, and so it is with us. If life were always easy, we would never grow. If the road were always smooth, we would never develop resilience. The rough patches in life are not there to break us, they are there to make us. Think about the times you struggled the most. Didn't they also teach you the most? Didn't they reveal strength within you that you didn't even know you had? The truth is, we don't learn our greatest lessons in moments of comfort. We learn them in the struggle. The pain, the failures, the detours. These are the things that shape us into who we are meant to be. Maybe you took a wrong turn, ended up on a road you didn't recognize, and for a moment you felt completely off track. But then later on you realized that turn led you somewhere important, maybe to a beautiful view you wouldn't have seen otherwise, or to a place you never planned to go but needed to be. Life is the same way. We think we're lost, we think we've taken too many wrong turns, but God is the ultimate navigator. He sees the entire map, even when we don't. The road may be rough right now. You may be struggling with pain, loss, disappointment, or uncertainty. You may not understand why things are happening the way they are. But I promise you this, your journey is not in vain. This road is leading you somewhere. Maybe it's leading you to strength. Maybe it's leading you to wisdom. Maybe it's leading you to a blessing you never even expected. But no matter what, it is leading you forward. So don't give up. Don't let the bumps in the road make you turn back. Keep walking, keep trusting, and know that every step, no matter how difficult, is bringing you closer to where you are meant to be. And when you finally arrive, when you look back at the road you traveled, you'll see that Every rough patch, every storm, and every detour had a purpose. Fear is a powerful thing. It creeps in when we least expect it, whispering doubts into our minds and planting seeds of worry in our hearts. It tells us we're not good enough, not strong enough, not capable enough. Fear magnifies our weaknesses and minimizes our strengths. It paralyzes us, making us hesitant to step forward, to take risks, to trust in the unknown. But faith is even more powerful. Faith stands in direct opposition to fear. Where fear says, what if I fail? Faith says, but what if I succeed? Where fear says, I can't do this, faith says, with God all things are possible. Where fear tells us to retreat, faith urges us to press forward. Life is full of moments where we must choose faith or fear. Do we trust the road ahead even when we can't see where it leads? Do we believe in God's plan even when everything seems to be falling apart? Do we step out in faith or do we shrink back in fear? Fear will always try to hold you back. It will convince you that it's safer to stay where you are, to settle for less, to avoid risk, to never step out of your comfort zone. But God did not create you to live in fear. He did not give you dreams, gifts, and a purpose just so you could be too afraid to use them. Think of a baby bird in the nest. If it never spreads its wings, if it never takes that terrifying first leap, it will never know it was made to fly. And the same is true for you. Faith is taking that leap. Faith is saying, I don't know exactly how this will work out, but I trust that it will. Faith is believing that even if the road ahead is uncertain, God is already there, making a way. Fear will tell you that you're not strong enough to handle life's challenge. It will whisper that you're not worthy, not capable, not meant for greatness. But faith reminds you of the truth. You are a child of God. You were created for a purpose. You were designed with strength, resilience, and potential. Fear makes mountains seem too high to climb. But faith tells you that mountains can move. Faith does not mean we will never be afraid. It does not mean we will never have moments of doubt or uncertainty. But it does mean that when fear comes knocking, we do not let it take control. We choose to trust. We trust that even when life is hard, God is still good. We trust that even when we don't understand, God's plan is still working. We trust that even when we feel weak, God's strength is enough. So when fear rises up, when doubt tries to steal your peace, choose faith. Speak life over your situation. Walk boldly even when you don't have all the answers. Keep moving forward, knowing that fear may be loud, but faith will always be stronger. We live in a world that moves fast. Everything is instant. Food, instant messages, instant results. We don't like to wait. We want things to happen quickly, and when they don't, we start to question, why is this taking so long? Why hasn't my prayer been answered yet? Why is everyone else moving forward while I feel stuck? Waiting can be one of the hardest things in life. It can feel like a punishment, like God has forgotten about us. But let me tell you something. A delay is not a denial. Just because something hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it won't. Just because your blessing hasn't arrived yet doesn't mean it's not on the way. God's timing is always perfect, even when we don't understand it. When things don't happen on our schedule, we often assume God is saying no. But God's silence is not his absence. Sometimes he is simply preparing us for what we asked for. Think of a child who wants to drive a car. The child might be eager, excited, and ready to hit the road. But if they are too young, if they haven't yet learned the skills, then giving them the car too soon would be dangerous. The delay is not a punishment, it's protection. And sometimes that's exactly what God is doing for us. He sees what we cannot see. He knows when we are truly ready for the blessing. And if He makes us wait, it is because He is preparing us, shaping us, strengthening us, so that we can handle what's coming. Think about times in your life when you wanted something so badly, but it didn't happen. Maybe it was a job you applied for and didn't get. Maybe it was a relationship that ended when you thought it would last forever. At the time, it felt like rejection. It felt like a loss. But later you realized that if you had gotten what you wanted back then, you would have missed out on something greater. God never takes something away without replacing it with something better. If He is making you wait, it's because what's coming is worth the wait. Waiting isn't easy. It tests our patience. It stretches our faith. But growth happens in the waiting. Strength is built in the process. Look at a caterpillar inside its cocoon. It stays there for days, weeks, sometimes even months. If someone were to cut the cocoon open too soon, thinking they were helping, the butterfly would never develop strong enough wings to fly. The struggle, the waiting, it is necessary for transformation, and so it is with us. If God gave us everything we wanted the moment we asked, we wouldn't develop the faith, the wisdom, and the character we need to sustain the blessing. The waiting season is where He refines us. It's where He teaches us to trust Him, even when we don't see the full picture. There is no such thing as too late with God. What is meant for you will never pass you by. No missed opportunity, no rejection, no delay can stop what God has planned for your life. So if you are in a season of waiting, don't lose heart. Don't let doubt creep in. Keep trusting, keep believing, keep preparing, because when the time is right, when God knows you are ready, the doors will open, the blessing will come, and you will understand why the wait was necessary. Life is not always easy. We face battles, heartbreaks, disappointments, and seasons of struggle that make us question everything. We ask, why me? Why this? Why now? But let me tell you something. Every struggle has a purpose. The pain you are feeling is not wasted. The obstacles in your path are not meaningless. The challenges you face are not there to destroy you. They are there to shape you, strengthen you, and prepare you for something greater. Imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. He takes raw metal, places it into fire, and hammers it over and over again. The fire is hot. The hammering is intense. But without the heat, without the pressure, the metal would remain weak and useless. And so it is with us. If life were always easy, we would never grow. If we never experienced hardship, we would never develop strength. The very struggles that make us want to give up are the ones that make us stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Think of the strongest people you know. They did not become strong by living a life of comfort. They became strong because they endured, they went through pain, they faced challenges, and they overcame them. You are no different. Every difficulty you are facing is shaping you into the person you are meant to be. When everything is going well, it's easy to be kind, to be faithful, to be strong. But it's in the struggle where we find out who we really are. When life knocks you down, do you get back up? When your plans fall apart, do you still trust that God has a greater one? When doors close, do you lose faith or do you keep walking? Struggles reveal character. They show us our weaknesses. but they also show us our strength. They remind us that we are capable of more than we ever thought possible. You may feel like you are being tested right now. You may feel like you don't have the strength to keep going, but you do. You are stronger than you know. And this season of struggle is teaching you things that easy times never could. A seed must be buried in darkness before it can grow into a tree. A diamond must endure intense pressure before it shines. A caterpillar must struggle out of its cocoon before it becomes a butterfly. The struggle is part of the process. Think about a time in your past when you faced a challenge that felt impossible. Maybe you didn't see a way out. Maybe you thought you wouldn't make it through. But look at you now. And not only did you survive, but you grew. You became stronger, wiser, and more resilient. This struggle you are facing right now, it will do the same. You may not understand it now, but one day you will look back and realize that it was necessary. When life is easy, we sometimes forget to lean on God. But in the struggle, we are reminded of our need for Him. We pray more. We seek Him more. We trust Him more. God never promised that life would be free of struggle, but He did promise that He would never leave us in it. He walks with us through the fire. He stands with us in the storm. He holds us up when we feel like we can't go on. So if you are struggling right now, take heart. You are not alone. God is with you, and He is using this season to prepare you for something greater. You may not understand why you are going through this right now. You may feel like giving up, but don't. Every tear, every challenge, every setback is leading you somewhere. You are being refined, strengthened, and prepared for the blessing ahead. One day you will look back and see that the struggle was never meant to break you. It was meant to build you. Life has a way of making us impatient. We live in a world of instant results, instant food, instant entertainment, instant responses. We expect things to happen quickly, and when they don't, we get frustrated. We pray and ask God for things, a job, a relationship, healing, success. But when the answer doesn't come immediately, we start to doubt. We wonder, is God even listening? Has He forgotten about me? But let me remind you of something powerful. God's timing is perfect. He is never early. He is never late. He is always right on time. Even when we don't understand it, even when we can't see the full picture. His plan is unfolding exactly as it should. We have a limited perspective. We see what's right in front of us. We see our desires, our needs, our plans. But God, He sees everything. He sees the past, the present, and the future all at once. He knows what is best for us, even when we don't. Think about a child who asks for something they are not ready for. A young child might want to drive a car, but a loving parent knows that they are not ready. The parent isn't saying no forever, just not yet. Because if the child were given what they wanted too soon, it would hurt them instead of help them. In the same way, God sometimes delays things because He knows we are not ready yet. He is not punishing us. He is protecting us. When something doesn't happen on our schedule, we assume it's never going to happen. But a delay does not mean that God has said no. It may simply mean not yet. Think about Joseph in the Bible. God gave him a dream that he would be a ruler, but instead of that dream coming true immediately, he was sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into prison. For years, it must have seemed like everything was going wrong. But God's timing was at work. When the time was right, Joseph was elevated to a position of power. And when he looked back, he realized that every delay, every hardship, every setback had a purpose. If he had gone straight from the dream to the throne, he would not have been ready. The delay was preparation. Waiting is hard. It can feel like nothing is happening. But just because we don't see movement doesn't mean God isn't working behind the scenes. Think about a seed planted in the ground. You don't see anything happening at first. It looks like nothing is growing, but beneath the soil in the unseen places, roots are forming. And when the time is right, the plant breaks through the surface. The same is true for us. God is working in the unseen places. He is preparing things, aligning opportunities, strengthening our hearts, building our character. So don't lose faith in the waiting season. God is not ignoring you. He is preparing you. Sometimes we try to rush things. We get tired of waiting, so we take matters into our own hands. But when we force things before their time, we often end up with something far less than what God had planned. Think about fruit that is picked too early. It's not sweet, it's not ready. But when it's left to ripen in its own time, it becomes exactly what it was meant to be. The same is true for the blessings in our lives. If we wait on God, He will give us His best. Not a rushed version, not a lesser version, but the perfect blessing at the perfect time. I know it's not easy. Waiting requires faith. It requires trust. It requires believing that even when things don't go our way, God still has a plan. But when you trust Him, when you surrender your timeline to Him, you will find peace, because you will know that you don't have to control everything, because you don't have to win. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to trust that God is good. His plan is perfect, and His timing is always right. So if you are in a season of waiting, don't give up. Keep believing, keep praying, and keep trusting, because when the time is right, when God knows you are ready, everything will fall into place in ways you never imagined. Life is full of uncertainties, delays, struggles, and moments of doubt. There will be times when the road feels rough, when your prayers seem unanswered, when fear tries to overwhelm you. But through it all, trust that God is the best planner. Every struggle has a purpose. Every delay is part of His divine preparation. Every moment of waiting is an opportunity for growth, and every challenge is shaping you for something greater. Faith over fear, hope over doubt, trust over worry. You may not understand everything right now, but one day you will look back and see that God's hand was in every detail. His timing is never late, His plan is never wrong, and what He has for you will always be greater than what you could have imagined for yourself. So keep going, keep believing, keep trusting, because no matter how uncertain life may seem, God's plan is always at work, and it is perfect.
My dear friends, the wind does not beg the mountain to move, and the river does not ask permission to flow. They do what they were made to do, as you must do what you were born to do. You who have been counted out, stepped over, and underestimated. You who have swallowed sorrow like bitter medicine, who have walked through fire and came out smelling of resilience. The world has tried to erase you, but God said, put your name in salt, not in sand where the waves can wash it away, not in ink where time can fade it, but in salt preserved, unshaken, everlasting. Because you were not made to be forgotten. You were not shaped in love and molded in glory just to shrink yourself into nothingness. Beloved, hear me. There is power in the name. It is not just a word. It is not just a sound on the tongue of a stranger. It is a declaration, a song, a promise spoken over you before you ever took your first breath. You were not born to be nameless, faceless, or forgotten. You were not placed here to be washed away like footprints in the sand. No, your name was spoken by the heavens, carved into existence by hands that do not tremble, written not in dust but in salt, permanent, preserved, unshaken. The world may try to erase you, to pretend you were never here, to rewrite the story in their favor, but they will fail. Because what is written in salt cannot be erased. Let them say what they will. Let them doubt you, dismiss you, overlook you. They do not know the weight of your name. They do not know the prayers whispered over it, the struggles it carries, the victories it holds. They do not know the strength of the people who came before you, those who bore that name with pride, those who walked so you could run. They do not know how your name has already been spoken in runes you have yet to enter, how your story has already been written in ink that will never fade. You must carry your name with the dignity it deserves. Do not shrink it to fit into spaces too small for your spirit. Do not silence it to make others comfortable. Speak it with confidence. Walk in it with purpose. Let it be known. Because a name is more than just something to call you. It is a legacy, a birthright, a banner carried through time. Your name is the proof that you were here, that you fought, that you loved, that you mattered. It is the mark you leave behind, the echo that will live beyond your voice. And when the world tries to erase you, remember this: God said, put your name in salt. What he has preserved, no man can destroy. The wind will blow, the rain will fall, the waves will rise, and the earth itself may tremble beneath your feet. But you were not made to break. You were not fashioned from fragile things. You were not set upon this earth to be watched to be wide the storms of life. No, you were made of something stronger, something deeper, something the elements cannot undo. You were made to endure. They will tell you that you are too small to stand, too weak to withstand, too ordinary to outlast. They will say time will wear you down, that hardship will erode your spirit, that you will fade like so many before you. But they do not know what you are made of. They do not know that you were not written in sand, not sketched in pencil, not placed in places where the tide can claim you. No, God said, put your name in salt. He made sure that when the storm comes, when the flood rises, when the winds howl and the world shifts, you will remain. Salt does not wither in the face of time. Salt does not crumble under pressure. Salt holds, preserves, protects. And just like that, you were not placed here to disappear, not meant to be forgotten, not destined to be lost to the waves of trouble that come and go. Life will test you. It will throw its weight against you. It will try to grind you down. It will push you, pull you, stretch you, and demand more than you think you have to give. But you will still stand. You will still rise. You will still be. There will be days when you feel the weight of the world pressing down on you, when every step forward feels like walking against a wind determined to send you back. There will be moments when you question if you can take another step, when you feel like you are being worn thin, when you wonder if you have anything left to give. But hear me now, you are not breaking, you are becoming. Every trial is shaping you, every hardship is strengthening you. Every battle is proving what was already true, you were made to last. So when the storms rage and the world shifts, when the pressure comes and the path is hard, remember this: what is written in salt cannot be erased. You are here to stay. You were never meant to be fleeting. You were never meant to fade like ink on an old page, never meant to be a whisper lost in the wind. You were created with purpose, sealed with promise, held in hands that do not make mistakes. You were not an afterthought, not a passing moment, not something time can undo. You were preserved, protected, and made to last. Life will try to tell you otherwise. It will come with its storms, its trials, its endless attempts to convince you that you are temporary, that you are just another name among many, that you will be forgotten. It will try to wear you down, break you apart, make you doubt the strength that was placed in you before you even took your first breath. But life does not have the final say. When God placed his mark upon you, it was not with ink that could smudge or words that could be taken back. No, he spoke your name into existence and set it in salt, in something that time could not dissolve, something that seasons could not change. What he preserves, no man can erase. What he secures, no enemy can steal. What he has claimed, no force on this earth can undo. You are not here by accident. You are not moving through this life without reason. You are held together by something greater than circumstance, carried by something stronger than fear, anchored in something deeper than doubt. You have been given a life meant to withstand, a spirit meant to endure, a name meant to be remembered. And yes, there will be challenges. There will be moments when you feel forgotten, when you feel overlooked, when you wonder if you are making a difference at all. There will be times when the weight of the world feels unbearable, when your steps feel slow and your spirit feels tired. But even then, especially then, you must remember who you are. You must remember what was spoken over you. You must remember that you were placed here not to be washed away, but to stand, to live, to carry forward what cannot be lost. You were divinely preserved, intentionally placed, wonderfully made. And no matter what comes, no matter who doubts, no matter how strong the winds blow, know this: what is written in salt cannot be erased. You are here to stay. They will doubt you. They will question your worth. Whisper about your chances. Speak your name in hushed tones laced with uncertainty. They will watch you with eyes that expect you to fall, wait for you to falter. Assume that your strength is borrowed, your dreams too bold, your steps too unsure. They will say you are reaching too high, moving too fast, believing in things too grand for someone like you. Let them. Let them count you out. Let them assume you cannot. Let them think you are small, fragile, temporary. Let them whisper, because whispers have never built mountains, never stopped the sun from rising, never turned back the tide. Whispers have never held power over what is already written, over what has already been set in place by hands stronger than theirs. You do not owe them an explanation. You do not have to prove your worth to those who refuse to see it. You do not have to shrink yourself to fit into their limited understanding of what is possible. You were never meant to be contained, never meant to be molded into something palatable for their comfort. You were born to rise. And rising is never easy. Rising means pushing through the weight of doubt, moving past the barriers built by those who do not believe. Rising means standing when you are told to sit, speaking when you are told to be silent, holding firm when the world demands you let go. Rising means walking forward even when your feet are weary, when the road is uncertain, when the voices around you say you will never make it, but you will. Because you were never meant to fade. You were never meant to be erased. Your journey was not written in pencil to be smudged away at the first sign of struggle. No, God said, put your name in salt. And what is written in salt does not dissolve. It does not disappear when the storms come. It does not break under the weight of doubt. So let them whisper. Let them watch. Let them wonder. And then let them see. Let them see you rise above their doubt. Rise beyond their expectations. Rise into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. Because what they do not know, what they will come to learn, is that your story was never theirs to rewrite. If you were not placed here by accident, you were not sent into this world without purpose, without direction, without a reason deep in your bones. You have been called, marked, chosen not by man, not by circumstance, but by something far greater. You carry within you a destiny too strong to be silenced, too bold to be hidden, too sacred to be denied. And yet the world will try. It will tell you that you are not ready, that you are not enough, that your voice is too soft, your dreams too distant, your path too uncertain. It will tell you to wait, to shrink, to blend in. It will demand that you conform, that you make yourself smaller, that you set aside the fire burning within you for something easier, something safer. But you cannot be unmarked. You cannot erase what has already been spoken over you. You cannot undo the calling that was placed on your life before you even knew your own name. When God sets you apart, no man can unmark you. When He calls you forward, no voice of doubt can hold you back. When He tells you to rise, no force on this earth can keep you from standing. That does not mean the road will be easy. Purpose does not promise ease, it promises endurance. It promises strength where you thought you were weak. It promises a path even when you cannot yet see the way. It promises that no matter how many times the world tries to push you down, you will rise again. You will rise because you were called. You will rise because you were made for more. You will rise because the weight of the world is no match for the power that lives inside you. And though they may not understand, though they may question and doubt and resist, they will see. They will see you step forward when they thought you would fall. They will see you shine when they thought you would be dimmed. They will see you walk in the fullness of your calling, unshaken, undeterred, unstoppable. Because what is written in salt cannot be erased. You were not made to crumble. You were not shaped from weak hands or built on hollow ground. You were formed with intention, forged through fire, strengthened by every battle that tried and failed to break you. You were not given this life by mistake, not handed these challenges without reason. You were born into resilience, wrapped in perseverance, and sent forth with a spirit that refuses to bow. But the world will test you. It will throw storms in your path, place mountains before your feet, send winds that howl and rain that pours. It will try to convince you that you are not strong enough, not worthy enough, not ready enough. It will whisper that the weight is too heavy, that the burden is too great, that it would be easier to lay down, to give up, to let go. Do not listen. The world does not know what you carry inside you. It does not know the prayers that have been spoken over you, the battles you have already won, the scars that tell the story of everything you have overcome. It does not know the power in your bones, the fire in your spirit, the unwavering truth that you were not created to be defeated. You have resilience woven into your very being. It is not something you have to find. It has always been there, waiting for you to remember, waiting for you to stand up after every fall, to press forward when the road is long, to hold your head high when doubt creeps in. It is not in your nature to surrender, not in your design to be destroyed. The world may not understand how you keep standing. They will wonder how you still walk after every stumble, how you still shine after every shadow, how you still move forward when everything around you tries to hold you back. But they do not need to understand. They do not need to believe in your strength for it to exist. They do not need to approve of your journey for you to take the next step. Because your resilience is not borrowed. It is not temporary. It is your birthright. And when they ask you keep going, when they ask why you are still standing, still moving with purpose, let them know. God said, put my name in salt. And what is written in salt cannot be erased. Speak, stand, shine. These are not just words, they are a call, a command, a truth you must live by. You were not given a voice to be silent. You were not given a presence to disappear. You were not given light to hide in the shadows of doubt, fear, or the opinions of those too blind to see your worth. Yet, the world will try to silence you. It will tell you to hush, to lower your voice, to keep your brilliance contained. It will convince you that your words do not matter, that your truth is too much, that your light is too bright. It will push you to shrink, to fade, to blend in. And if you listen, if you allow yourself to be quieted, to be dimmed, to be reduced, then the world wins. But hear me now. You were never meant to be small. You were never meant to be invisible. You were never meant to exist in the background of someone else's story, waiting for permission to be heard, to be seen, to be felt. No. You were created with a voice that carries, a presence that shifts the air, a light that was meant to cut through darkness. So speak. Speak even when your voice shakes. Speak even when they tell you to be quiet. Speak your truth, your story, your wisdom, your dreams. Speak because your words hold power, because your voice can move mountains, because silence was never your destiny. Stand. Stand tall when they try to make you bow. Stand firm when the winds of doubt come rushing in. Stand even when your legs are weary, even when it feels easier to sit down, even when the weight of the world rests heavy on your shoulders. Stand in your truth. Stand in your worth. Stand in the knowledge that you are here for a reason, that you were called for a purpose, that you were built to withstand whatever comes against you, and shine. Shine not for approval, not for validation, but because you were made to. Shine even when they shade you. Shine even when they mock you. Shine even when they do not understand the brilliance that radiates from within you. Shine because your light is not something they can take, not something they can dim, not something that can be erased. The world does not get to decide who you are. The world does not get to write your story. The world does not get to silence you, to shrink you, to hide you. Because God said, put your name in salt. And what is written in salt cannot be erased. And so I leave you with this: walk boldly in the truth of who you are. Let no doubt, no storm, no whisper of fear convince you that you were not meant to be here, to stand firm, to rise above, to shine without apology. Your name, your purpose, your legacy, it has been sealed, preserved, protected. It cannot be undone. It cannot be erased. You were written in salt. So speak with courage, stand with strength, shine with certainty. And when the world questions, when it doubts, when it tries to tell you otherwise, simply remember what God has set in place, no force can remove. Good luck on your journey. May you walk with confidence, rise with resilience, and shine without end. Thank you. Listen closely, for the world does not wait, and neither should you. There is a fire that burns in every woman, a quiet yet unyielding flame that seeks to dance with both softness and strength. To walk through this life, to carve a path through the storms and still stand tender, requires a balance that is often spoken of but seldom understood. Grace without grit is like a river that refuses to flow. Grit without grace is a storm that leaves the earth barren. Every woman, my sisters, deserves to master this delicate equilibrium, for it is here, in the union of these two forces, that true power lies. Grace is not a fragile thing. It is the courage to smile when the world has tried to dim your light, to extend kindness when anger would be easier. It is the quiet dignity that rises even when you have been knocked down, the way a flower reaches for the sun after the harshest winter. Grace is knowing your worth without needing to prove it to anyone, and loving yourself even when others fail to do so. It is the music in your laughter, the warmth in your voice, the strength found in gentleness. But do not be mistaken, sisters, for grace alone will not carry you across the battlefields of life. There must also be grit, that unrelenting spirit that refuses to bend under pressure, that rises when all odds whisper surrender. Grit is the steel in your spine, the fire in your hands that turns obstacles into stepping stones. It is the sleepless nights, the tireless efforts, the whispered promises to yourself that you will not quit, that you will stand firm no matter how heavy the weight. To balance grace and grit is not to choose one over the other, but to let them intertwine like the roots of a tree, unseen yet unbreakable. A woman who masters this balance walks through the world with an elegance that commands respect and a strength that inspires all. She knows when to bend and when to hold, when to speak and when to listen, when to give and when to claim what is hers. She understands that her softness is not weakness and her toughness is not cruelty. Listen to me, sisters, and hear the truth that lives within you. Your softness is not weakness. Too often the world has whispered to women that tenderness is fragile, that gentleness is fragile. That vulnerability is a crack in your armor. But let me tell you something the world does not always know. There is a strength in softness that cannot be measured by the weight you lift or the battles you win. It is a quiet power, a force that moves mountains in silence, that transforms spaces and hearts with the mere presence of your being. To embrace your softness without shame is to claim the fullest measure of yourself, to recognize that every gentle word you speak, every act of care, every moment of compassion is an expression of your inner might. Softness is the ability to feel deeply in a world that often numbs itself to pain. It is the courage to show your emotions when fear and doubt tell you to hide them, the bravery to allow your heart to speak when silence seems safer. Every tear you shed, every moment you pause to listen, and every time you offer kindness without expecting anything in return is a testament to the strength that lives in you. Do not let anyone tell you that smiling in the face of struggle is foolish or that showing love is naive. These acts are not small, they are monumental. They are the mark of a woman who knows her value, who understands that her heart is a vessel for transformation, who walks through the world with both clarity and courage. Softness also allows you to connect, to build bridges where walls exist. A gentle touch, a patient ear, a soft spoken word can dissolve hostility and invite collaboration. It can move people in ways that anger cannot, can create spaces where trust and growth flourish. To embrace your softness is to wield this power, to acknowledge that influence is not always loud, that impact is not always measured by force. Your grace, the way you nurture, the way you hold, the way you forgive, is a force that shapes the world around you. And when it is paired with grit, when this tenderness is fortified with courage, determination, and perseverance, it becomes unstoppable. To claim your softness without shame also means to embrace your imperfections. The world may expect women to be flawless, to hold themselves together without faltering, to hide the cracks that make them human. But your cracks are not liabilities, they are entrances to your strength. They are the places where light enters, where empathy grows, where resilience is born. By allowing yourself to feel, to stumble, to weep, you do not weaken yourself. You strengthen the core of who you are. Every challenge you face, every wound you carry, every experience that leaves its mark is an opportunity to deepen your understanding, to expand your heart, to rise with more grace and clarity than before. Sisters, embracing softness does not mean surrendering your power. On the contrary, it is the foundation of power itself. It is the reason you can hold firm in adversity without breaking, the reason you can inspire, lead, and nurture all at once. It is the gentle resolve that refuses to compromise your dignity, the quiet determination that keeps you moving when the road is rough. Your softness is the lens through which you see beauty, the compass that guides your actions, the anchor that keeps you grounded amidst chaos. And when paired with grit, this softness does not crumble. It transforms into an unyielding strength that carries you through the fiercest storms and into the brightest light. So let no one diminish your tenderness. No one make you doubt the power it contains. Walk tall in your vulnerability. Speak loudly in your quiet moments. Love deeply without hesitation. For every act of grace, every gentle gesture, every heartfelt choice is proof that your softness is your strength, your tenderness is your power, and your heart is the most formidable force you will ever wield. Embrace it, own it, and let it guide you, for in this balance of gentle strength, you discover the woman you were always meant to be. Sisters, here this resilience is not born from comfort. It is forged in the fires of challenge, shaped by the storms that life insists we face. There will be moments when the world seems heavy, when the air feels thick with doubt, when every step forward is met with resistance. It is in these moments, when your spirit is tested and your heart aches, that resilience becomes your closest companion. Resilience is not simply enduring, it is rising again and again, with the quiet certainty that you will not be defeated. It is the courage to stand after you have fallen, the determination to move forward when fear whispers to stay, the wisdom to see obstacles not as endings, but as invitations to grow stronger. Resilience begins with belief in yourself, in the unshakable truth that you are capable of more than the world has taught you to believe. There will be voices that try to tell you otherwise, that try to dim your light or make your efforts feel small. Do not listen. Let your spirit rise above those doubts. Every woman carries within her a wellspring of strength that is waiting to be tapped, a reservoir of courage that is awakened in the face of adversity. Resilience is claiming that strength and wielding it with intention, standing firm when the earth beneath you trembles, holding fast to your purpose, even when it feels like everything is against you. To cultivate resilience is to honor your own journey. Life will test you in ways you cannot always predict, presenting obstacles that seem insurmountable. And yet, each challenge, each setback, each moment of struggle carries within it a lesson, a chance to sharpen your spirit, to deepen your understanding, and to claim your power. Resilience is the refusal to let hardship define you, the insistence that your story is not over because of the chapters you did not expect. It is the courage to carry on with grace when the world would have you crumble, to transform pain into wisdom, and to turn fear into fuel. Resilience is also the companion of hope. It is the heartbeat that whispers you are not alone, that even in darkness there is a path forward. Even in silence there is a voice calling you to rise. It teaches patience, for growth does not happen in a single day, and strength is not built overnight. Every small victory, every quiet moment of perseverance, every act of self-compassion is a brick in the foundation of your resilience. And when the storms come, as they always do, you will find that you are stronger than you ever imagined, steadier than you ever believed, and more capable than you ever knew. Resilience does not demand that you harden your heart or shut out the world. On the contrary, it thrives when paired with grace. To rise again and again does not mean to be unfeeling. It means to hold your heart open while protecting your spirit. It means to move forward with courage without losing your tenderness, to confront challenges without abandoning your kindness, to persist without bitterness. A woman who embodies resilience does so not through hardness, but through the balance of strength and compassion, grit and grace. She understands that true power is not measured by how fiercely she fights, but by how fully she embraces life with all its pain and beauty. Sisters, resilience is a choice you make every day. It is choosing to honor your own path, to trust your own instincts, to rise after every fall. It is the voice inside you that whispers, "Keep going," when every other voice says, "Stop." It is the strength to face uncertainty without losing hope, to navigate setbacks without surrendering your dignity, and to transform struggles into stepping stones. And it is not something you carry alone. Every woman who has ever risen from adversity before you, every story of courage and triumph, is a reminder that resilience is woven into the fabric of your being, waiting to be claimed and celebrated. So let resilience be your companion, sisters, walking beside you in every trial, lifting you when you falter, and guiding you toward the woman you were always meant to become. With resilience, no challenge is too great, no fear too deep, and no path too treacherous to conquer. Rise, hold fast, and let your spirit shine, for resilience will carry you to heights you have only dared to dream. Sisters, listen well, for life does not wait, and neither should you. There is a rhythm to this world, a dance between strength and tenderness, between courage and compassion, and it is here that balance becomes the compass of a woman's journey. To navigate life's storms with elegance is not merely an aspiration, it is a necessity. The world will challenge you, push against you, and sometimes threaten to break you, yet the woman who masters the balance of tenderness and determination walks through it all with a poise that commands both respect and awe. This balance is not a simple choice, it is a dance, a rhythm that allows you to bend without breaking, to stand without hardening, to fight without losing the softness that makes your spirit human and beautiful. Tenderness is a gift, a quality that allows you to approach life and people with care, understanding, and compassion. It is the softness in your voice that soothes, the gentle touch that heals, and the listening heart that welcomes stories even when your own burdens feel heavy. To nurture this quality is to cultivate spaces where trust and love can grow. It is the quiet courage to show empathy when anger might be easier, to extend kindness when the world seems cruel, and to remain patient when impatience is simpler. Tenderness does not diminish your power, it amplifies it. It allows you to connect, to inspire, to lead with an authenticity that commands respect. Yet tenderness alone, without determination, is incomplete. There must be a grit that propels you forward, a force that drives action even when fear whispers surrender. Determination is the fire in your hands, the persistence in your steps, the refusal to allow obstacles to define your limits. Life will present you with trials that test the very core of your being, moments when the weight of circumstance threatens to pull you down. It is your determination that keeps you rising, that allows you to persevere with dignity, that transforms setbacks into stepping stones. When combined with tenderness, determination does not crush or dominate. It uplifts and empowers, giving shape to your intentions and clarity to your vision. Balance is the thread that weaves tenderness and determination together, the delicate harmony that allows a woman to navigate the world with elegance. It is knowing when to soften and when to strengthen, when to listen and when to speak, when to yield and when to claim your space. It is a conscious choice, made moment by moment, that allows you to move through life without losing the essence of who you are. A woman who masters this balance does not have to apologize for her kindness nor defend her courage. She knows that her ability to be gentle does not make her weak, and that her resolve does not make her cruel. To walk with this balance is to embrace your own humanity fully. There will be days when the storms of life make tenderness feel like a luxury and determination feel like a necessity. There will be moments when the weight of responsibility tempts you to harden your heart, to push softness aside in the name of survival. But the woman who understands balance knows that true strength is not in abandoning her heart, but in protecting it while remaining open, guiding it while allowing it to feel. She rises with grace, acts with courage, and responds with compassion. This balance also shapes the way you influence the world. People are drawn to the woman who can stand firm, yet remain kind, who can speak truth with clarity while holding empathy in her heart. Her presence is magnetic because it embodies possibility, the possibility that strength need not be harsh, that courage need not be cruel, that the human spirit can be both tender and unstoppable. And in her actions, she inspires others to discover their own balance, to embrace their own power, and to walk through life with the same poise and purpose. Sisters, let tenderness and determination guide your steps. Allow grace to soften your journey and grit to fortify it. Learn to navigate life's storms with elegance, for this balance is not given, it is earned, nurtured, and claimed through every choice, every challenge, and every moment of courage. Step forward with this balance, walk with purpose, and let the elegance of your strength illuminate every path you take. Sisters, listen to me carefully, for your voice carries power that the world cannot always hear, and your worth shines brighter than any doubt cast upon you. To honor your worth and speak your truth, even when the world questions your power, is one of the most courageous acts you can commit. Too often, women are taught to shrink, to lower their gaze, to soften their presence in order to make others comfortable. But your existence is not meant to be quieted, your light is not meant to be dimmed, and your voice is not meant to be silenced. To claim your space, to own your value, to speak with conviction, even when others try to dismiss you, is the essence of standing fully in both grace and grit. Your worth is not determined by accolades, possessions, or approval from others. It lives within you, a quiet certainty that whispers in the moments when you feel unseen, telling you that you are enough just as you are. Recognize it, nurture it, and never allow external judgments to shake it. Every act of self-respect, every boundary you set, every choice you make to honor your heart is a declaration that you will not be diminished. To speak your truth is to remind the world and yourself that you are a force to be reckoned with, a woman whose presence matters and whose ideas deserve to be heard. Speaking your truth is not always easy. It requires courage, for there will always be those who challenge you, who attempt to undermine your confidence, who wish to make you doubt your own voice. And yet, it is precisely in these moments that your power shines brightest. Do not shrink to avoid discomfort or conflict. Rise with clarity, speak with conviction, and hold fast to the integrity of your message. Your words carry weight not only because they are heard, but because they are rooted in authenticity, in a life lived with awareness and courage. A woman who honors her worth and speaks boldly becomes a beacon for others, showing that self-respect is not arrogance and courage is not cruelty. To honor your worth is also to protect your energy. The world may demand your time, attention, and labor without giving back, but resilience requires discernment. Say no when it is necessary, step back when it is required, and surround yourself with those who uplift rather than diminish you. This is not selfishness, it is self-preservation. Every act of protecting your heart, of standing firm in your value, reinforces the foundation of your strength. It allows you to navigate challenges with clarity and act with grace without losing yourself in the noise of expectation. Your worth is inseparable from your actions. When you honor yourself, you model for others how to honor themselves. When you speak your truth, you create ripples that empower those around you to speak theirs. When you hold your ground without bitterness, you teach the delicate balance of firmness and compassion. The world needs women who recognize their value and refuse to compromise it, not out of arrogance, but out of deep self-respect and understanding that their gifts, their ideas, and their love matter. Remember, sisters, that honoring your worth and speaking boldly is not a one-time act. It is a lifelong practice. There will be days when doubt creeps in, when fear whispers that your voice is too loud or too small, when the world seems to demand your silence. In those moments, return to the truth that your existence is not negotiable, your spirit is not optional, and your voice is essential. Speak with courage, act with integrity, and let your life be a testament to the power of a woman who knows her worth. To honor your worth and claim your voice is to live in alignment with your purpose. It is to rise even when obstacles appear insurmountable, to stand even when others do not support you, and to shine even when the world would prefer you hide. Your worth is unshakable, your voice undeniable, and your presence transformative. Step forward, sisters, speak boldly, and let the world witness the power of a woman who knows her value and refuses to settle for anything less than she deserves. Sisters, hear this truth and carry it with you always. Patience and persistence are not just virtues, they are lifelines, the twin forces that hold the balance of grace and grit in your hands. Life will not move at your command, and the world will not bend simply because you wish it to. There will be delays, disappointments, and detours that test the very core of your being. In these moments, patience is your anchor, and persistence is your sail, guiding you through the storms and keeping you steady when everything else seems uncertain. To cultivate both is to honor your journey, to recognize that the road to mastery, the path to fulfillment, and the climb toward your dreams are not measured by speed, but by endurance, resilience, and faith in your own strength. Patience begins with understanding yourself and your process. It is the ability to wait without resentment, to trust that every experience, every trial, every twist and turn carries a lesson meant for your growth. The world may rush, demanding immediate results, but a woman who embodies patience knows that the deepest transformations occur quietly, unseen, and often in the spaces between action and outcome. She recognizes that her worth is not determined by how quickly she achieves, but by how steadfastly she walks her path. Patience allows her to breathe, to reflect, to hold her heart open even when the pace of life feels relentless. Persistence, on the other hand, is the engine that propels you forward when hope feels distant. It is the courage to rise after every fall, to try again when failure knocks at your door, and to continue even when progress seems invisible. Persistence is not stubbornness, it is a deliberate, unwavering commitment to yourself and your purpose. It is the quiet refusal to allow circumstances, criticism, or doubt to define your limits. A woman who persists understands that every small step, every incremental effort accumulates into a force that cannot be denied. It is through persistence that dreams transform into reality, that challenges become opportunities, and that grit finds its true expression. The harmony of patience and persistence is what allows a woman to move through life with both grace and determination. Patience tempers persistence, ensuring that ambition does not become recklessness, that striving does not turn into frustration, that action does not lose its alignment with intention. Persistence energizes patience, turning waiting into active preparation, reflection into momentum, and endurance into tangible results. Together, they form a rhythm that guides every choice, every step, and every moment of your journey. To cultivate this balance, sisters, is to embrace the understanding that life's greatest achievements are rarely instantaneous. The tallest mountains require careful climbing, the most enduring relationships require steady nurturing, and the most profound personal growth unfolds over time. Patience teaches you to honor the process, to see beauty in the gradual unfolding of your life, and to trust that your efforts, even when unseen or unacknowledged, are meaningful. Persistence teaches you to keep moving forward, to face obstacles with courage, and to transform setbacks into fuel for your continued ascent. This balance also strengthens your inner resilience. When you combine patience with persistence, you learn to navigate disappointment without losing hope, to confront obstacles without losing faith, and to rise after setbacks without losing your sense of self. You become a woman who can hold space for her own growth while continuing to pursue her goals with determination, a woman whose grace does not falter under pressure and whose grit remains steady in the face of adversity. Sisters, let patience and persistence guide your steps. Let patience remind you that all things worth achieving take time, and let persistence remind you that every effort counts. Together, they will carry you through challenges, steady your heart when fear whispers, and empower you to rise in ways that honor both your strength and your softness. Hold fast to this balance, walk with intention, and let your journey reflect the quiet power of a woman who knows that patience and persistence are not just actions, but lifelines to the woman she is destined to become. Sisters, hear me when I say these obstacles are not the end of the road. They are the stepping stones that shape the woman you are meant to become. Life will place barriers in your path, some expected, others startling in their suddenness, yet each one carries within it a lesson, an invitation to rise, and an opportunity to claim your power. To turn obstacles into stepping stones is not merely a strategy, it is an art, a practice of courage, vision, and unwavering faith in yourself. It requires both grace and grit, a harmony of gentleness and determination, of soft strength and resilient spirit. Every challenge you face, no matter how daunting, is a call to step higher, to stretch further, and to embrace the fullness of your own capacity. Obstacles are teachers. They ask you to confront fear, to question limits, and to examine the beliefs that hold you back. When life tests you, it is not to defeat you, but to awaken the resilience that lies within. Each difficulty, each setback, each moment of doubt is an invitation to grow stronger, to deepen your understanding, and to refine the balance between tenderness and tenacity. A woman who sees obstacles as stepping stones does not falter in the face of difficulty. She pauses, learns, and moves forward with intention. She understands that every challenge carries the seeds of transformation, and that her response to adversity determines the trajectory of her life. Turning obstacles into stepping stones requires courage, the courage to face discomfort without turning away, to embrace struggle without losing hope. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the willingness to move forward despite it. It is the hand that reaches out when the world feels heavy, the voice that speaks when silence would be easier, the heart that persists when surrender tempts. A courageous woman does not wait for the path to be clear or the skies to be free of storms. She moves with purpose, trusting in her own ability to navigate, adapt, and rise. Grit accompanies courage, giving it form and direction. While courage is the spark that ignites action, grit is the fuel that sustains it. It is the relentless determination to keep climbing when the climb is steep, to keep striving when results seem distant, to keep believing when doubt surrounds you. When grit is combined with grace, it transforms obstacles from burdens into tools, from roadblocks into platforms for growth. Grace allows you to move through challenges without losing your compassion, your empathy, or your sense of self, while grit ensures that you do not allow circumstance to define your destiny. Perspective is the lens through which obstacles become stepping stones. It is the ability to see beyond the immediate difficulty and recognize the opportunity within. Every delay, every failure, every criticism holds a lesson that can strengthen your resolve and expand your vision. A woman who masters perspective does not waste energy on resentment or despair. She channels it into action, reflection, and growth. She understands that each stepping stone she creates is a foundation for future achievement, a bridge to the woman she is becoming. Turning obstacles into stepping stones also requires patience and persistence. Patience allows you to endure setbacks without surrendering to frustration, to wait while the process unfolds, and to honor the timing of your own growth. Persistence ensures that you keep moving, that you continue to try, that you do not allow failure to become final. Together, these qualities create a rhythm of resilience, a pattern of progress that carries you forward even when the path is uncertain. Sisters, remember this truth: obstacles are not meant to stop you. They are meant to elevate you. They are invitations to claim your power, to rise with dignity, and to demonstrate the harmony of grace and grit that lives within. Each challenge you face can become a stepping stone if you meet it with courage, fortitude, and the unwavering belief in your own worth. Step boldly, rise with intention, and let every obstacle be the foundation upon which you build the life you were always destined to live. Sisters, listen closely, for this truth belongs to you. Owning your duality is the ultimate act of self-mastery. To be gentle yet fierce, tender yet unstoppable, is not a contradiction. It is the essence of what it means to be a woman who walks fully in both grace and grit. The world may demand that you choose, that you soften to appease or harden to survive, but you need not surrender to such limits. There is a profound power in embracing every facet of yourself, in acknowledging the depth of your compassion while wielding the fire of your determination. To own your duality is to honor all that you are, to refuse to apologize for your complexity, and to move through life with the confidence of a woman who knows she is whole. To be gentle is not to be weak. It is to allow yourself to feel deeply, to love without reservation, to extend kindness even when it is not returned. Gentleness is the grace in your step, the warmth in your gaze, and the empathy in your voice. It is the courage to nurture, to heal, and to forgive in a world that often thrives on harshness and impatience. A gentle heart does not lack strength, It carries resilience in its softness. It reaches out when others would withdraw. It offers comfort when cruelty abounds, and it transforms spaces with a presence that is quiet yet profound. Gentleness is your gift, a reflection of the power that lives in your capacity to care. Yet gentleness alone, without fierceness, is incomplete. To be fierce is to stand unwavering in the face of challenge, to speak your truth even when your voice shakes, to pursue your purpose with relentless determination. Fierceness is the fire that propels you forward when doubt attempts to hold you back, the courage that rises when fear whispers surrender, and the grit that ensures you do not settle for less than you deserve. A fierce woman does not retreat in the presence of adversity. She faces it with clarity, with conviction, and with the knowledge that her strength is not diminished by her compassion. Owning your duality is the art of combining these forces, of letting gentleness guide your interactions while fierceness drives your ambitions. It is knowing when to soften and when to assert, when to listen and when to act, when to yield and when to claim your space. It is a conscious choice to honor the full spectrum of your being, recognizing that your tenderness is not a liability and your courage is not cruelty. The woman who embodies this balance moves through the world with authenticity, inspiring those around her not through domination, but through the harmonious expression of her complete self. This duality shapes the way you lead, influence, and impact the world. People are drawn to the woman who can approach challenges with care and still act with authority, who can extend empathy without losing conviction, who can love deeply and protect fiercely. She becomes a model for others, demonstrating that strength need not be harsh, that compassion need not be passive, and that a woman can be both nurturing and unstoppable. Her life is a testament to the power of embracing contradictions, transforming what others may perceive as weaknesses into extraordinary sources of influence and empowerment. Owning your duality also requires self-awareness and courage. It is easy to conform to expectations, to silence parts of yourself in order to fit into boxes that were never meant for you. But true mastery lies in the refusal to hide any part of your spirit. It lies in the willingness to show the world that you are tender yet unyielding, gentle yet fierce, and in doing so, to claim your full power unapologetically. Every choice you make to honor this duality reinforces your resilience, your authenticity, and your ability to rise above limitations imposed by others or even by yourself. Sisters, remember that your duality is not a flaw. It is your strength. It is the rhythm of your heart, the compass of your soul, and the anchor of your courage. To walk fully in this balance is to become a woman who embodies the true essence of grace and grit, who moves through life with purpose, passion, and profound presence. Stand boldly, embrace every part of yourself, and let the world witness the unstoppable force of a woman who owns her duality completely. Sisters, as we draw this journey to a close, let us remember that grace and grit are not separate paths, but intertwined forces that live within each of us. To embrace your softness, rise with resilience, navigate life with elegance, honor your worth, cultivate patience and persistence, turn obstacles into stepping stones, and own your duality. This is the mastery every woman deserves. It is a journey that asks courage, patience, and unwavering faith in yourself. Yet it is also a journey filled with profound beauty, strength, and purpose. Carry this truth with you. Your tenderness is your power, your courage is your light, and your presence has the ability to transform the world. Walk boldly, rise unapologetically, and let every step reflect the harmony of strength and grace that you embody. You are more capable, more resilient, and more extraordinary than you have ever allowed yourself to believe. May you move forward with confidence, with balance in your heart, and with the unwavering knowledge that you are enough, you are powerful, and you are unstoppable. Good luck on your journey, and thank you for allowing me to share this moment with you.
Good morning, warriors. The world will try to tell you who you are. It will throw stones, set roadblocks, whisper doubts into your ears. But let me tell you something. There is no force on this earth stronger than a soul determined to rise. You were not placed here to be average. You were not given breath just to exist. You have a fire inside of you, a calling, a purpose. And if you have that, then every morning you wake up is an opportunity. It is another day to fight, another day to build, another day to grow. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is now, right now. In the mess, in the struggle, in the uncertainty, this is where champions are made. This is where warriors are born. You will fall. Oh yes, you will fall. And when you do not stay down. Wipe the dust from your hands, square your shoulders, and stand back up. Because every fall teaches. Every mistake sharpens. Every setback prepares you for the comeback. Life will test you. It will push you to your limits, shake your confidence, and throw obstacles in your path that seem impossible to overcome. But understand this, resilience is not just about surviving hardship. It is about thriving despite it. It is about standing tall when the storm rages around you, about holding your ground when the world tries to knock you down. Adversity is not an enemy, it is a teacher. Every setback, every heartbreak, every failure carries a lesson. It teaches patience when the journey is long, courage when fear tries to take over, and strength when exhaustion whispers that you should give up. Resilience is not about avoiding struggle. It is about learning to dance in the rain, about finding the lesson in the loss, about using the pain as fuel to keep moving forward. Think about the strongest people you know. They did not reach where they are because life was easy. No, they are strong because they endured. They fell and got back up. They cried but still moved forward. They doubted themselves, but pushed through anyway. Resilience is built in the moments when you want to quit, but don't. It is in the nights when the weight of the world sits heavy on your shoulders, yet you still wake up the next morning, determined to fight again. You must train your mind to see beyond the struggle, to understand that every hardship is shaping you, molding you into the person you are meant to be. When doors close, do not stand there knocking. Build a new door. When people doubt you, let their doubt become the very thing that fuels your ambition. When life tells you no, look it in the eye and say, "Watch me." You are not defined by your hardships. You are defined by how you rise from them. Every scar tells a story of survival, of resilience, of unwavering strength. So when life tries to break you, let it find you unshaken. Let it see your resilience. Let it witness your fire. Because no matter how hard the winds blow, you were built to withstand the storm. And when you do, when you rise after being knocked down, you don't just prove your strength to the world, you prove it to yourself. Keep going, keep grinding, keep rising, because resilience is the foundation upon which greatness is built. Work is more than just a task. It is more than a paycheck, more than a title, more than the hours you put in. True work, the kind that fulfills, the kind that leaves a mark, is driven by purpose. Without purpose, work is empty. But when you work with intention, when you move with meaning, every effort you make becomes a step towards something greater. Purpose is the difference between simply existing and truly living. It is what gets you up in the morning when you're tired, what keeps you pushing forward when the odds are against you. It is the fire that burns in your spirit, reminding you that your work is not just about the tasks in front of you, it's about the legacy you are building, the impact you are making, and the change you are creating. So ask yourself, why do you grind? Why do you wake up and do what you do? If your only answer is survival, then you are only scratching the surface of your potential. Work is not meant to drain you. It is meant to elevate you. It is meant to sharpen you, to challenge you, to mold you into the person you were born to be. When you work with purpose, every action carries weight. You don't just go through the motions. You put your heart into it. You don't just show up. You give your best. Whether you're working a dream job, running your own business, or grinding through a job that isn't where you want to be yet, your purpose will push you forward. Your purpose will remind you that even the small steps matter, that every experience is shaping you, and that every effort is a brick in the foundation of your future. Purpose fuels discipline. When you know why you're doing something, it's easier to stay committed. It's easier to stay late, to put in the extra effort, to do more than what is expected. People who work with purpose don't just aim to get the job done. They aim to do it well. They take pride in their work because they know that no effort is wasted when it's aligned with something greater than themselves. But purpose is not just about personal success. It is about impact. It is about making a difference in the lives of others. When you work with purpose, your energy is contagious. You inspire those around you. You show others what is possible. Whether you are a teacher shaping young minds, an entrepreneur creating new opportunities, an artist telling powerful stories, or a parent building a foundation for the next generation, your work has meaning. Do not settle for work without purpose. Do not settle for a life where you simply count down the days waiting for something to change. Find the meaning in what you do. If you haven't found it yet, create it. Align your work with your passion, your values, your dreams. And if you are in a place where your work does not yet fulfill you, use it as a stepping stone. Learn, grow, and build toward the future you desire. Because when you work with purpose, every day is an opportunity. Every effort is a step forward. And every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. From the moment you take your first breath, the world begins to shape you. It tells you who you should be, how you should look, what you should achieve. It whispers doubts in your ear, making you question whether you are worthy, whether you are talented enough, strong enough, smart enough. But let me tell you something. You are enough. Not because of what you have, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. The world will try to convince you that you need to be more successful, more popular, more accomplished. It will make you feel like you're always one step behind, like you need to prove yourself before you can truly belong. But you do not need permission to be great. You do not need validation from others to believe in yourself. You were created with purpose, with gifts, with an undeniable light inside of you. There will be days when you feel small, days when comparison steals your joy, when self-doubt creeps in like a shadow, whispering lies about your worth. But understand this. Your value is not up for negotiation. It is not determined by social media likes, by job titles, by the opinions of others. Your worth is in your resilience, in your kindness, in the way you keep pushing forward even when life tries to break you. You were not designed to be a copy of someone else. You were not meant to fit into anyone's mold. You are enough as you are. Your strengths, your flaws, your scars, your story. Every struggle you've endured has shaped you, and every victory, no matter how small, you are enough. Even on the days when you feel like you're failing, you are enough, even when you haven't figured it all out. Growth does not happen overnight, and greatness is not built in a day. You are a work in progress, and that is beautiful. The journey, the mistakes, the lessons, they are all part of your becoming. Stop waiting for the world to tell you you're worthy. Stop chasing perfection, because perfection is an illusion. Your power comes from embracing who you are, flaws and all. Speak with confidence, walk with purpose, own your story, because nobody else can be you, and that is your superpower. So the next time you look in the mirror and doubt yourself, remind yourself, I am enough. Not just today, not just when I succeed, but always, because I am growing, I am learning, and I am becoming exactly who I was meant to be. Setbacks are not the end of the road. They are part of the journey. Too often we treat failure as a dead end, as proof that we are incapable, as a sign to give up. But the truth is, every great success story is built on a foundation of failures, missteps, and moments of doubt. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is simple. The ones who rise learn from their setbacks. When life knocks you down, you have two choices. You can see your setback as proof that you're not good enough, or you can see it as a lesson. You can let it define you, or you can let it refine you. The strongest, most resilient people in the world didn't get there because things were easy. They got there because they refused to let their failures have the final say. Think about it. Every time you've failed at something, you've learned something new. Maybe you learned what doesn't work. Maybe you learned who's truly in your corner. Maybe you learned that you're stronger than you thought. Every setback carries a lesson, but it's up to you to find it. You will fail, that is a guarantee. You will make mistakes. You will fall short of expectations, yours and others. But failure is not a life sentence. It is a classroom. It teaches patience when things don't happen as fast as you want. It teaches humility when you think you know it all. It teaches resilience when the world tries to break you. The most successful people don't avoid failure. They embrace it, study it, and use it to fuel their growth. Setbacks are also a test of character. They reveal who you are when things don't go your way. Will you give up, or will you adjust? Will you wallow in self-pity, or will you rise with wisdom? Strength is not built in comfort. It is built in struggle. Every time you rise after a setback, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. But here's the key. You must reflect. You must take time to ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? What needs to change? Growth doesn't happen automatically. It happens when you take responsibility for your journey. It happens when you stop making excuses and start making adjustments. And remember, setbacks are temporary. That disappointment you feel today, it won't last forever. The pain of failure, it fades. But the wisdom you gain, that stays with you. That builds you into someone who is unshakable, unstoppable, unbreakable. So the next time life throws you a challenge, don't fear failure. Embrace it, learn from it, use it, because every setback is setting you up for something greater. And when you finally reach that breakthrough, when you stand victorious on the other side of struggle, you will realize it was never about avoiding failure. It It was always about rising after it. Success means nothing if you reach the top alone. True greatness is not just about personal achievement. It is about impact. It is about using your journey, your lessons, and your struggles to uplift those who are still climbing. The strongest people are not the ones who hoard knowledge, power, or success for themselves. They are the ones who reach back, extend a hand, and help others rise. In a world where competition is glorified, it is easy to believe that success is a solo pursuit, that if you want to win, you have to do it alone. But the reality is, no one makes it on their own. Behind every leader, every innovator, every champion, there are mentors, supporters, teachers, and friends who help them get there. And once you've climbed the mountain, it is your responsibility to help someone else on their journey. Lifting others does not mean you slow down your own progress. It does not mean sacrificing your dreams for someone else's. It means that as you grow, you create opportunities for others to grow with you. It means sharing your knowledge, offering guidance, and opening doors for those who might not have the same access or resources. Because real success is measured by how many people you bring with you. Think about those who have helped you along the way. Maybe it was a teacher who saw your potential before you did. Maybe it was a mentor who gave you advice at a critical moment. Maybe it was a friend who encouraged you when you wanted to quit. Now ask yourself, how can I be that person for someone else? Lifting others is not just about mentorship. It is about mindset. It is about celebrating other people's wins, not feeling threatened by them. It is about creating an environment where success is not just for the few, but for the many. Too often, people operate with a scarcity mindset, believing that if someone else shines, it dims their own light. But the truth is, there is enough success for everyone. Helping others does not take away from your journey, it strengthens it. Lifting others also means recognizing those who are struggling. Sometimes people just need a word of encouragement. Sometimes they need a chance, an opportunity, a connection. It costs nothing to uplift someone with kindness, to remind them of their worth, to give them the motivation to keep going. You never know how your words or actions might change someone's life. But most importantly, when you lift others, you create a ripple effect. The person you help today might go on to help 5 more people. Those 5 might help 50, and before you know it, you have created a movement of empowerment, of growth, of transformation. That is how legacies are built, not just through individual success, but through collective impact. So as you climb your mountain, don't forget to look back. Don't forget to reach down, because the greatest leaders, the most successful people, and the most fulfilled souls are not the ones who stand alone at the top. They are the ones who bring others with them. No matter what happens, no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many obstacles stand in your way, keep rising. Life will test you. It will challenge your strength, shake your confidence, and make you question whether you have what it takes to keep going. You will face rejection, betrayal, and failure. You will have days when the weight of the world feels too heavy, when your dreams seem too far, when the road ahead feels impossible to walk. But in those moments, when doubt creeps in and fear whispers that you should quit, remember this: you were built to rise. Rising is not about avoiding struggle. It is about standing tall in the face of it. It is about refusing to let failure define you, about pushing forward when everything inside of you wants to stop. Every great story, every great success, every great legacy is written with chapters of struggle, hardship, and resilience. Your story is no different. You may not see it now, but every challenge you face is shaping you. Every setback is teaching you something. Every closed door is redirecting you to something greater. The pain you feel today is strengthening you for the victories ahead. The moments of doubt are refining your character. The struggles are molding you into the person you were always meant to be. But rising is a choice. You must decide over and over again that no matter what happens, you will keep going, even when you're tired, even when you're uncertain, even when the world tells you it's impossible, especially then. Because the moment you decide to rise, you reclaim your power. You take control of your journey. You remind yourself and the world that you are unstoppable. Do not let failure break you. Do not let disappointment steal your fire. Do not let the fear of falling stop you from flying. Rise. Rise after rejection. Rise after loss. Rise after heartbreak. Rise after defeat. Because every time you rise, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than you thought, braver than you imagined, and more resilient than you ever knew. And remember, rising does not mean you have to have it all figured out. It does not mean you won't stumble. It does not mean the journey will be easy. It simply means you refuse to stay down. That every time life tries to knock you over, you stand up again. That you keep moving forward, even if all you can do is take one small step at a time. The world belongs to those who refuse to quit. The future belongs to those who keep rising. So stand tall, lift your head, walk forward with confidence. No matter the storm, no matter the struggle, keep rising, because you were not meant to stay down. You were meant to soar. Life is not for the faint of heart. It will test you, break you, and challenge you in ways you never expected. But through every obstacle, every setback, every moment of doubt, you must keep going. You must work with purpose, knowing that what you do matters. You must embrace resilience, understanding that adversity is not the end, but the beginning of your strength. You must learn from your setbacks, taking every failure as a lesson, every fall as a stepping stone. You must remind yourself every single day that you are enough, not because of who you are, but because of who you are. And as you climb, do not climb alone. Lift others. Encourage, support, and inspire those who are still finding their way. Because success is not just about reaching the top, it's about who you bring with you. No matter where you are in your journey, no matter how hard the road ahead may seem, one truth remains. You were built to rise. You were made to overcome, to push through, to break barriers, and defy expectations. You were not put on this earth to settle, to shrink, or to give up, so stand tall. Keep grinding, keep rising. And when life knocks you down, when the world tells you that you can't, get up and grind, because your story is not over. Your best days are ahead, and the world has yet to see the full power of what you are capable of. Now go, rise, work, lead, inspire, and never stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time when the sun refuses to shine on the inside, when the light has gone out, not in the world, but in you. You look around and everything seems the same, but your soul says different. You smile because they expect you to, but deep down your spirit is tired. Your hope is bruised, and your mind is stuck in a loop of not good enough, never going to change, and what's the point? Now let me tell you this, you are not alone in that dark hallway. I've been there. Many have been there. Standing knee-deep in doubt, walking with fear as a companion and dragging yesterday like a heavy bag tied to your back. But you are not meant to live there. You're not born to stay stuck in the mud of misery. You are not designed to be pressed down by the weight of worry and whispers of worthlessness. Darkness is a place you pass through, not a place you settle in. That truth is easy to forget when you're in it. When the days feel heavy and the nights too long, when your thoughts repeat old pain like broken records and joy seems like a memory from another lifetime, it can feel like this is just who you are now, a shadow of who you used to be. But I tell you, no matter how deep the sorrow or how loud the silence, you are not meant to stay in that place. We all have chapters in our lives that feel like closed doors, rooms without windows, places where light seems not only absent but forbidden. We lose people. We fail at things we hoped would work. We face rejection, betrayal, disappointment. And if it happens often enough or cuts deep enough, it doesn't just wound the heart, it starts to shape the mind. You stop expecting better. You stop hoping for change. You begin to believe that this sadness is your new home, that the world has spoken and your story has been written in full. But no season lasts forever. The earth turns, the tides shift. And just as winter bows to spring, pain too must move aside when you begin to move forward. That is the secret of getting unstuck. You do not wait for a better day to rescue you. You do not sit in the dark and hope someone brings you the sun. You reach, you push, you speak, even with a trembling voice. You cry, but you still take a step. The moment you choose not to settle in your sorrow, something begins to shift. You are not created for the cave. You are made to rise, even when you're tired. Even when the weight of yesterday presses against your chest, that weight is not your identity. That tiredness is not your truth. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not too late to matter. You are not too far gone to come back. The negative voices, both around you and within you, are just noise. They are not the final word pain will visit, yes. Doubt will knock on your door, but you do not have to let them live inside you. You do not have to hand them the keys. What you give power to grows. What you speak over yourself becomes seed. So speak wisely, speak kindly, speak life even when it feels foolish to, especially then, because words build futures, and what you declare in the dark becomes a promise the light remembers. You do not need a full plan. You do not need all the answers. You only need one honest decision. I will not stay here. And then one action that supports it. Maybe it's getting out of bed. Maybe it's reaching out to someone. Maybe it's writing a dream again you had given up on. The action doesn't have to be grand. It just has to be true. True to the part of you that still wants to live, still wants to laugh, still wants to breathe something new into this weary world. Because hear me, you are not alone. You have never been alone. Even when no one else could see your struggle. Even when the phone didn't ring and the texts didn't come. Even when the crowd was loud and your soul felt invisible, you still mattered. And you still do. There is purpose in your pain. Not because the hurt was right, but because your rise will be stronger than your fall. Because someone will one day need your story to remind them they can make it too. So don't stay in the place that tried to break you. Don't decorate the walls of sorrow like it's a forever home. Don't let the past become your prison. Walk through, crawl through, speak through, cry through, but do not settle. You are passing through this night. Morning is waiting for you. Your thoughts are powerful, but your choices are more powerful. It's a truth that will either lift you or leave you depending on whether you believe it. Because the mind can be a mighty thing. It can build castles or cages, plant gardens or graves. It can carry echoes from old wounds and replay them like lullabies until you forget there's another sound, your own voice, your own will, your own yes to life. Too many of us live at the mercy of our thoughts. We wake up already defeated, already tired, already listening to that old inner dialogue whispering, you can't, you're not enough, it's too late. Why bother? And those thoughts, if we let them become a script we start reading from every single day. We act like prisoners of our minds, not authors of our lives. But hear me when I say this, you are not your thoughts. You are what you do with them. Thoughts are visitors. Some are kind, some are cruel. Some are rooted in truth, many are not. You can't always control what comes, but you can decide what stays. You can choose to give power to thoughts that breathe life into your soul, or refuse to feed the ones that feed your fear. You can challenge them. You can speak back. You can say, that is not my name. That is not my truth. That is not my future. Every day you wake up, you are given something stronger than any thought choice, a gift so ordinary we forget how mighty it is. You can choose to start again. You can choose to believe something new about yourself. You can choose to stand even if your knees shake. And that choice, that is how change begins. Not with the disappearance of fear, but with the decision to keep going in spite of it. I've seen people with every reason to give up choose to rise. I've seen hearts shattered choose to love again. I've seen dreams buried under years of silence choose to speak again. Not because their thoughts gave them permission, but because their will did. Because they decided that their story wasn't over just because their mind tried to close the book. You see, when you understand that choices shape you more than thoughts, you stop waiting to feel better before moving forward. You stop waiting for confidence to show up before taking the first step. You act. And sometimes action is the only thing that clears the fog. You make the call, you take the walk, you write the words, you forgive, you breathe, and slowly your choices begin to teach your thoughts a new language, a language of power, a language of grace, a language that says, I may not feel strong, but I am showing up anyway. That's the kind of strength no thought can steal. That's the kind of power that reshapes a life. Now, some will say, but I've tried and failed. And yes, failure is real, but so is the choice to get up again. Others will say, I don't know how, and that's fair. But you don't need to know how to take the next small step. The step teaches you the way. The step invites in the clarity. Waiting for the perfect mindset is like waiting for rain in the desert you can't afford to wait. You have to move first. You have to believe that even a hesitant step in the right direction carries more power than 1,000 fearful thoughts. Your mind will try to pull you back to comfort, even when comfort looks like sadness, disappointment, shame. That's just its habit. But you, beloved, are not a habit. You are a force. You are a choice in motion. You are the answer to prayers you don't even know you've prayed yet. So today, choose to rise. Choose to speak light. Choose to be a friend to yourself. Choose to stand even in the middle of a storm. Because every time you choose yourself, you remind the darkness it cannot hold you. Your thoughts may be loud, but your choice is louder. Healing begins the moment you stop rehearsing the hurt and start reclaiming your hope. Pain has a way of building a home inside you. It comes in quietly sometimes through words that cut, through silence that lingers, through people who leave without reason or storms that showed up without warning. And before you even realize it, the pain becomes a story you carry, a story you repeat to yourself over and over again, as if saying it enough times will make it make sense. But no amount of repeating pain can turn it into peace. No amount of replaying what went wrong will suddenly make it right. And yet we do it. We rehearse the hurt like it's the only script we've got. We go back to the betrayal, the rejection, the failure. We revisit old scenes in our mind and relive every word, every wound, every mistake. Not because we want to suffer, but because we haven't yet remembered we have a choice. A choice to let it be part of our story, but not the whole story. A choice to stop feeding the memory and start feeding the future. You are allowed to hurt. Let's not deny that. You're allowed to cry, to be angry, to grieve what was lost. That is not weakness. That is healing's beginning. But there is a point where pain becomes a comfort we cling to, where we confuse feeling the wound with honoring it, where we think that if we let go, we're somehow saying what happened didn't matter. But letting go doesn't mean it didn't matter. It means it doesn't get to control what matters next. Reclaiming your hope means giving yourself permission to believe in joy again, even when you're not sure how to feel it. It means creating room in your spirit for possibility again. It means saying, I still believe there is something good ahead, even if I've only seen sorrow. Hope isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's fragile, but it's there, waiting behind the fear, behind the heartbreak, behind the wall you built to protect yourself. It's there, asking you not to be fearless, only to be willing. To heal is to stop worshiping the wound. It is to stop using your pain as proof of who you are and start using your power as the foundation of who you're becoming. It is not forgetting. It is not pretending it didn't hurt. It is remembering you are more than the thing that tried to break you. It is letting your past educate you, not define you. When you stop rehearsing the hurt, something powerful happens. You begin to feel space, space to imagine again, space to feel something other than sorrow, space to hear a new thought, speak a new word, take a new step. The same voice that once said, I can't go on, will begin to whisper, maybe I can. The same heart that once closed itself to protect will begin to open just enough to let the light in. Because healing is not about waiting for time to pass. It's about choosing again and again to show up to your life in a new way. Choosing to write a new page instead of reading the old one for the 1000th time. Choosing to water your hope, even if only with tears. Choosing to say, I'm still here. And that matters. There will be days when the old pain knocks again. That's okay. Just don't invite it to stay. Acknowledge it, then remind it that you're building something new now. You are creating a life that honors the pain, but lives beyond it. That's what reclaiming hope looks like. It looks like breathing deep, standing tall, and saying, I may have been broken, but I am not staying broken. You are allowed to want more. You are allowed to heal without permission. You are allowed to believe in joy, even if sorrow once felt like your only friend. You are allowed to rise. Let today be the day you stop telling the story that wounded you and start living the one that will heal you. You are not the voice of doubt. You are the one who decides whether to listen. That voice, the one that whispers you're not enough, that questions every move, that echoes every past mistake. It isn't you. It's a noise that grew over time, sometimes from what people said, sometimes from what they didn't say, sometimes from the hurt that settled in when you were too young to understand how to protect yourself. But that voice does not define you. It is not your truth. It is only a sound, and sounds can be silenced. We all hear it, that inner critic, that heavy whisper that shows up when you're trying to move forward. When you're just beginning to believe in yourself, it speaks up with doubt. When you're about to take a step, it reminds you of every time you stumbled. It's clever, it doesn't scream, it seeps in like smoke, slow, quiet, and choking. And if you're not careful, you begin to accept its lies as your own thoughts, your own beliefs. But you have something stronger than the voice. You have choice, and you have the power to respond. You have the ability to hear the voice and say, no, I know who I am becoming and I won't be talked out of it. You can choose not to feed the doubt. You can choose to move anyway. You can choose to speak love over yourself, even when your own mind is unsure how to receive it. The battle isn't to never hear the voice. The battle is to not obey it. Doubt will never disappear forever. It will circle back just when you're trying to grow. It will rise up when you're reaching for something new, something bigger, something sacred. But that's not a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that you're on the edge of change. Doubt doesn't visit people standing still. It visits the ones who dare to move. It visits the ones who have a light that cannot be ignored. The danger isn't the doubt. The danger is when you give it authority, when you let it write your decisions, when you let it sit at the head of your life and call itself wisdom. But you know better. Somewhere deep inside you, beneath the noise and the fear and the tiredness, is a voice that still believes, a voice that still says, keep going. That voice may be small, may be quiet, but it's real. And it is yours. The voice of truth doesn't force, it invites. It doesn't shake you, it steadies you. You've made it through too much to let doubt become your compass. You've survived the things that tried to bury you. You've breathed through pain you didn't think you could bear. And still you rise. Still you reach. Still you hope. That is not the work of doubt, that is the work of courage. And it deserves to be trusted. You don't have to be perfect to move forward. You don't have to silence every fear before taking a step. You only have to remember that you are more than the noise inside your head. You are the one who hears it and walks anyway. You are the one who falls and still dares to rise again. You are not the weakness your doubt tries to describe. You are the decision to grow. You are the answer to the question your fear keeps asking. And when that voice shows up again, because it will, don't argue with it. Don't try to convince it. Just keep going. Let your actions speak what your heart hasn't found the words for yet. Let your movement become your message. Let your journey remind you and everyone watching that doubt does not get the final say. You do. Movement, no matter how small, is a declaration of life over fear. And in the quietest moments, when everything feels heavy and your mind is wrapped in doubt, it is movement that keeps you from sinking. It does not have to be grand. It does not have to look like triumph. It only needs to be honest, real, intentional, a whispered choice to keep going when standing still would be easier. Sometimes life brings you to a pause that feels like a full stop. Pain arrives and suddenly you don't know how to begin again. The things you used to enjoy don't stir you anymore. The light you once chased feels too far to reach, and in that stillness, fear takes root. Fear that this is who you'll always be now, stuck, uncertain, lost. But fear is a liar, and the only thing it asks is that you stay where you are. Movement threatens fear. Even the smallest step threatens to unravel its grip. You don't need to have it all figured out to move forward. You don't need all the answers. You don't need the map. You don't even need strength. You just need willingness. One step, one breath, one yes to life. Because every time you choose movement, you are telling your mind, your pain, your doubt, I am still here and I'm not done yet. That is how change begins. That is how the soul remembers itself. Movement is an act of courage, especially when your heart feels heavy and your thoughts try to chain you down. Moving doesn't mean you feel ready. It means you refuse to stay buried. That's what makes it sacred. That's what makes it powerful. You rise, not because the weight is gone, but because something in you knows it cannot have the final word. You rise even if you have to crawl. You rise, and in doing so, you awaken a deeper part of yourself. The part that still believes. The world may not notice your small efforts. It may not applaud you for simply getting out of bed, for taking a walk, for speaking one kind word to yourself. But those small acts are mighty. They are proof that you have not surrendered to the darkness. They say, I will not let what happened to me become who I am. They say, I'm still choosing to hope, even if that hope is quiet. When people speak of healing, they often expect a straight line, but healing is not tidy. It is not fast. It is a series of small movements made in faith. Some days you rise, some days you fall. But every day that you choose to try again is the day you reclaim yourself. Do not measure your progress by the world's standards. Do not compare your pace to someone else's. Some hearts need more time. Some wounds need gentler tending. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are moving, and that is everything. You must learn to celebrate yourself for showing up. Celebrate that you are still here, still choosing life. That matters. You matter. And even when your movements feel invisible, they are shifting things inside you. They are waking up your spirit. They are preparing the ground for something new to grow. Because movement is not just physical, it is spiritual. It is emotional. It is the sound of your soul whispering, I still believe in the light. Let yourself move without judgment. Let yourself begin without needing to be brave. Let the act of showing up be enough for today. And if tomorrow brings more strength, let that be your gift. But if all you can do is one small thing, do that thing. It is not small to the part of you that has been hurting. It is everything. So when the voice of fear tells you to wait, tells you to hide, tells you you're not ready, answer it with a step. Any step, even a trembling one, because that is how you rise, not all at once, but one breath, one movement at a time. You are not standing still. You are becoming. Peace is not the absence of struggle. It is the presence of stillness in the middle of it. And that stillness does not arrive when the world becomes quiet. It arrives when you choose to listen deeper than the noise, because the world will never stop moving. Life will never stop throwing questions, demands, distractions, and reasons to run. But you do not have to move at its pace. You can pause, you can breathe, you can find your center even while the storm is still roaring. We are taught to chase everything: success, validation, comfort, control. We are told to keep going, keep climbing, keep pushing. And somewhere in the rush, we forget how to be still. We forget that stillness is not weakness, it is strength, wrapped in quiet. It is a choice to return to yourself when everything outside you tries to pull you away. Stillness is not doing nothing. It is doing what matters most. It is being. It is the space where you meet yourself again without all the labels, without the pressure, without the performance. In that space, you are not what happened to you. You are not what they called you. You are not what you lost. You are not what you fear. You are simply here breathing, present, whole, in your becoming. Even healing needs quiet. Even growth needs stillness. Movement without rest is just noise. Even the strongest hearts need time to listen, to reset, to reconnect. And it is in stillness that you remember what is true, that you've come far, that you've endured what tried to break you, that you've held on through pain that wanted you to give up. Stillness is the place where you stop surviving and begin remembering your worth, your light, your voice. There are days when chaos will come knocking, days when doubt feels louder than peace, when fear feels louder than faith. And those are the days you need stillness most, not to escape the storm, but to anchor yourself inside it. You don't have to run from it. You don't have to fix everything at once. You only need to be still long enough to hear what the panic tries to silence, that you are not alone and you are not finished. Stillness teaches you to respond instead of react, to pause before speaking, to feel before fleeing, to choose rather than chase. It is not silence born of fear, but silence that gathers power. Because when you are still, you stop reaching for what doesn't serve you. You stop letting noise guide your next step. And that is how peace is made, not found. Made, moment by moment, breath by breath, choice by quiet choice. You don't have to wait for life to get easier to find peace. You don't have to wait for everything to make sense before you feel okay. Peace isn't about answers. It's about presence. It's knowing, even without knowing how things will turn out, that you are held, that you are enough, that you are more than what you're going through. And sometimes stillness is how you begin again. Not by leaping, but by resting. Not by proving, but by pausing. You rest not because you are weak, but because you are wise enough to know that your soul deserves care, that your healing needs gentleness, that your peace is sacred. Even in the noise, even in the waiting, even in the questions with no answers, peace is possible. It is not a place you arrive at. It is a presence you invite, a presence that says, I am here and I am whole, even in the becoming. Let your stillness speak for you. Let it remind you of your strength. Let it carry you forward when movement feels too hard. Because the world may swirl around you, but you can choose to be grounded. You can choose to find peace, not in what is happening around you, but in what you are nurturing within you. And that kind of peace cannot be taken. It grows with you. It walks with you. It becomes you. As we journey through life, we will inevitably encounter moments of doubt, fear, and struggle. But it is in those moments that our strength truly rises. We are not defined by the challenges we face, but by how we choose to meet them. Every step forward, no matter how small, is an act of resilience, a testament to the power of our will to choose hope over despair, movement over stagnation, and peace over chaos. Remember, you are more than the noise inside your head. You are the quiet strength that holds steady through the storm. You are the choice to rise, even when it feels like the weight of the world is against you. You are capable of creating the life you deserve, not through perfection, but through the willingness to keep going, even in the face of uncertainty. May you always find the courage to keep moving forward, the wisdom to seek stillness when needed, and the strength to trust in your own power. Know that no matter where life takes you, you are enough. You always have been, and you always will be. Good luck on your journey ahead. Thank you for allowing me to share this time with you.